Hey guys, it was an exciting week 4 in the NFL. This will be my week 5 waiver wire column. I'll just go over a couple names at each position, explain why I think they're worth adding. Yeah, I'll just get into it. So number one, we've got quarterbacks here. Number one for me is Teddy Bridgewater. Not only has he been heating up the last couple weeks, he showed that he still got his legs in him. He had a nice gain on the ground. I believe he scored like a 20-yard rushing touchdown this last week, and he gets the Falcons defense this upcoming week. So if you're looking for a quarterback streamer this week, um, insert quarterback against the Falcons. They're going to have a good game. And he's got a lot of speed on that offense, even without McCaffrey out there. They're really high octane, not necessarily high octane, but really pass heavy offense. So um, he's going to get a lot of opportunities and what should be a high scoring game. Bridgewater is a great ad this week. Another guy's Derek Carr. He's actually played pretty well this season. He had like a couple touchdowns last week. Granted, one was kind of in garbage time, but he's played pretty well, and they play the Chiefs in what should be a shootout. I do see a world where the Raiders just go really run heavy with Josh Jacobs, so I'm not crazy high on him, but you could do a lot worse at the quarterback position, and he's out there in a lot of leagues. So if you're thin at quarterback, or you got Stafford or Rodgers on bye, look into adding him. Another guy on here, and I hate to put him on here because he's been atrocious. I mean, that whole offense has, but Daniel Jones plays the Cowboys, who can't seem to stop anybody right now. Pretty much any game the Cowboys are getting into is a shootout. So even as bad as the Giants are, I do expect them to score some. They've got 3 touchdowns on the season, and I would expect them to match that total just in this week. So I don't really like, but I could see a world where Daniel Jones has a big day. So I like Evan Ingram and Darius Slayton and Golden Tate as well this week. Running backs I'd be looking to add here. Number one's Justin Jackson for me. Him and Joshua Kelly are both in line to get more work with Eckler out, but Kelly has looked awful the last 2 weeks. He's got 2 fumbles in 2 games. I want to say he had 9 carries for 7 yards this last week, and that's just awful. But we know the Chargers' running back position is lucrative in fantasy, so one of those two is going to emerge, and Justin Jackson's out there in a lot of leagues, so I would go get him. Another running back I put here is Damian Harris. He came off IR this last week, and he had 17 carries for 100 yards, and he looked good. I know it's hard to trust Patriots running backs on a week-to-week basis, but if there's a chance that he's out there getting 15 or 20 touches a game, you can't turn that down. It's really hard to find volume in the NFL, and to find it on waivers is even harder. So if he's out there, go get him. He's worth a flyer. Another guy here is Chase Edmonds. Kenyon Drake has been their main back and probably still will be for a couple more weeks if he plays this week. I know he had left the game with a chest injury. Shouldn't be too serious, but maybe he'll be limited this week against the Jets. Chase Edmonds has been the better player when he's gotten the ball. And as we saw last year, the Cardinals are more than willing to move on from their starting running back midseason. So I see a world where in the second half of the season, Chase Edmonds is the number one there, and he catches the ball out of the backfield a lot, which we know is more lucrative in fantasy. So Chase Edmonds has legit upside to be an RB2 for the rest of the season if Drake loses snaps. So get him because he could have value all season. Another guy here is Dearness Johnson. He came into the game for the Browns after Nick Chubb exited with an injury. Looks like it's going to keep him out at least 3 weeks, but probably around 6, it sounds like. He looked really good. He had 13 carries for 95 yards, I want to say, and we know the Browns are going to be run heavy. Obviously, I expect Kareem Hunt to get the majority of the work, and Kareem Hunt's going to be an animal while Chubb is out, but they're not going to run Hunt into the ground if they don't have to, and Johnson looked good, and if he gets 10 to 15 touches a game, and he does as well with him as he did this last week, he's a great ad. So I'd look to add him. Last guy here is DJ Dallas. This is mainly deep leagues only, but if Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde were to miss time for the Seahawks, which seems like something that could happen this next week, Hyde missed week 4 with an injury, and Carson's been all sorts of banged up. So that would leave the Seahawks with just DJ and Travis Homer. And DJ Dallas looked like the more complete running back. They like him more in pass protection. They like him as a ball carrier. I'd see him getting most of the snaps if that were to happen, and DJ Dallas could really put up a good week against the Vikings, who have just been atrocious on defense this season. Wide receivers here. This is a fun list for me. T. Higgins has looked the part the last several weeks. I think you kind of saw his floor this last week. I think he had like 5 catches for 45 yards or something, which it's not special, but he's getting volume. He's getting targets. I think AJ Green spent a lot of the time on the sidelines this last week. So it does seem like the Bengals are moving towards using their younger guys to see what they've got going forward. I won't be shocked to see AJ Green traded to a new team midseason. I know there's not a ton of talk of that, but it wouldn't shock me at all. So T. Higgins, they like him. They want to get him targets. He's going to be a nice flex play to me the rest of the season. Isaiah Ford looks like the clear number 2 receiver in Miami. Preston Williams has just been nowhere to be found all season. And Isaiah Ford, he's a nice slot receiver. They like to get him the ball, get him in open space. So he's just a nice flex play during a bye week. Laviska Shenault here, I'm really high on. I want to say he had 6 catches for 80 yards this last week. He's super versatile. They use him out of the backfield. They just want to get the ball in his hands and get him in open space because he's a playmaker. And this last week kind of went under the radar because he didn't score. So people just see 6 for 80, and that's not that sexy. But he's just been getting better and better each week, and he looks more comfortable on the NFL field, and it looks like they're trying to get him the ball more. So I would totally target him. He could be somebody that down the stretch just erupts for you. Scotty Miller, he had another really good week this last week. We know Tom Brady loves his slot receivers, and it looks like Godwin's going to miss another week. And Evans is banged up, so there's targets to be had there, and Scotty Miller seems like the main benefactor of that. So he's a great play anytime one of those two misses a week, and even the couple games that they've both played, he was respectable. So he's worth rostering in most leagues. And lastly, Tim Patrick. He looked like their number 1 receiver last Thursday. I know it's a small sample size and with a backup quarterback, but he looked the part. He ran routes well. He showed a lot of good footwork. He didn't have drops like we've seen Jerry Jeudy have and stuff. So I don't think I'm comfortable playing Patrick yet, but I would definitely be okay picking him up and holding him to see how that receiving corps shakes out. And tight end list here is pretty small. We know tight end's a really thin position, but Mo Cox did it again this last week, scored a touchdown. He's the real deal. He's going to be a top 10 tight end the rest of the season, in my opinion. So if he's still out there, go get him. Robert Tonyan, kind of out of nowhere, had 3 touchdowns last night, but he's been on the field a lot. I believe he's ran a route on like 58% of his snaps this season, which is really high for a tight end, and it was 56 with Devontae Adams and 59 without, so it's not a huge difference. I know when Devontae Adams is back, he's going to lose targets, but he looks to me like the clear number 3 option of that offense, and that's an offense that, in my opinion, can support 3 options. Go get him. They're using him in the red zone. If you're thin at tight end, I think he has a shot to be a top 10 play the rest of the season. And Eric Ebron, he had a really good week 3. Looked like he was getting going, and one of those guys that everyone will have forgotten about because he had a bye this last week. So he's shown the ability to be a touchdown machine. If he develops any sort of chemistry with Big Ben, I think he could have a big second half of the season. Yeah, that's it. That's just a quick rundown of waivers in week 5. If there's anybody I didn't mention that you think I should have, please feel free to comment. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'll be dropping a buy low, sell high video tomorrow. So if you're interested in that as well, please sure to like and subscribe so you can get notifications when I upload that video. And if you want more content, feel free to follow me on Twitter at RealSteelFFB. Thank you for watching. It means a lot. All right. Bye.